Kaiju number 8, chapter 73, or monster number 8 if you're in Manga Plus land.
That is true. And with that, it hasn't really been monster number 8 lately. It's been decent enough. We've actually, since we came back, I've actually enjoyed it. This one's quick. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just this idea of activating number 10, and it's with Hoshina, and basically it's like the Kaiju number 8 sitcom of the Odd Couple.
It's almost like Venom.
Oh my God, it is. But it's Venom where they are not being able, the symbiotic relationship is not working out.
Cooperating.
And they are desperate, so they end up, Hoshina goes with Monster 10 for Kaiju number 10 and goes in, but this is the one Kaiju that's kind of sentient. It can talk, and with that, they almost might as well just say, listen, you got to kind of be buddies with this thing. You guys have to hang out. It would be one of those things where I would laugh if they go for drinks after, work, and that's where they bond. They'll do karaoke. Kaiju number 10 and Hoshina doing a little karaoke. But end up where they're trying to do this, and it's not working. And so you end up having Monster or Kaiju number 10. What's the deal? Kaiju number 10 is a daredevil, freaking pleasure or crazy situation seeker. Whoa. Let's go and do this. It's like so over the top, almost like you could play out. It's like the extreme 90s Kaiju.
Extreme. Let's kill everything.
And you have Hoshina's like, no, we got to get its flank. You go, screw that. Let's just go attack it.
No way.
Has a death wish, it seems. Doesn't really care, because at points Hoshina's like, listen, we're going to die. I don't care. Well, we might live, but then they're going to, pretty much kill you. I don't care. And just wants to gamble, do everything with that, while Hoshina isn't like that. And all the chapter, very quick read, but it's cool. And the action's really good. Through the whole thing, I also like where you get Kaiju number 10 really shows you right away, because I guess it's him who ends up cutting the bottom of the helicopter, and then they just go down on it. And they're like, oh man, our helicopter, that costs money. But in this whole deal, all I could think of is, come on, Hoshina, just do what it wants to do for now. Just do it, because whether or not it's going to work, it's better than you going left and it going right.
It's the only way to survive.
Please do it. Finally, he does. It ends up doing that. But all up until then, I'm like, come on, let's do this. You're not going to be able to convince this thing to follow you. And it seems like it's pretty gung-ho. And you have the power levels. They're going down. Oh, my God, it's lower than in training. Because this never worked well in training either. So I know that's desperate times. But seriously, maybe this was a real bad idea. Maybe you should have just kept, this off the deal.
For a minute there, it almost seemed like, the jig was up until they...
Even then, it ends up where, Kaiju number 10, hey, let's go here. And they land in the middle of the most densely populated monster area.
Whoops.
And they can't even fight. They're going this way, that way, whatever. But once you end up having Hoshina say, all right, you win for now. Let's kind of go. I'll follow your lead. You tell me what we want to do, but I'm going to control you through this. Power level spikes up. So you end up where and I love the idea that everybody at HQ, they are a roller coaster ride of emotions.
What the heck?
They are screaming, then they're crying, then they're yelling, then they're laughing, then they're high-fiving. They're all over the place, because at that whole deal, when they do end up allowing them to take the lead, it ends up being able to do a little more. Even when at one point I thought that Hoshina was dead, there was a creak at one point that I actually thought was a blade coming through the back. But the whole thing is, we're going to face this big thing head on, and you end up having it say, that's more like it. Follow me into the fire. I'm like, all right, that was quick. It was really quick. It was fun, though. It was one of those, like, all-action deals in a book that sometimes, even with, the kaiju and stuff like that, sometimes it does drag. At least this was full out, full bore. We didn't have to think about family or anything. This was just straight up. Kind of a neat play of, okay, I'm going to try to get this, weapon number 10, this deal to to bond with me and go. So that was cool to have. What would you give it?
I thought it was a banger. I've been really enjoying these last couple, like the mini spotlights on all the different numbers, weapons.
And I kept saying Kaiju or Monster Number 8. It's more the weapon, but it's from the Kaiju deal.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to tell everybody.
I think this might be one of the most interesting like pair-ups because
I think it is.
The personality and like the contrast, you got that like kind of clash in personalities going on here. I really do like that. I think that really works well. Almost a little bit like reminded me of how Kafka was. Not that he was like talking to the monster in him,
but he was struggling.
He was struggling with the beast within Jim. So to have that kind of literal version here, I think is very interesting. And it did make like action-packed chapter, but it did make I had a lot of fun reading the kind of these two going at each other. So I thought that was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to Kaiju number 8 every 2 weeks. And it's been a while since I've said that. So I am enjoying it. I am going to go with a solid 8 out of 10.
I'm going 8.5. I did like it. And I think you're right. I think that this ends up giving you more of an interesting combo. And you may end up almost having that weird play, even though this is a weapon number, whatnot. But we'll fight until we become best friends. They may bond.
Besties on the battlefield.
And what happens when you're a bestie and then they say, oh, yeah, we're going to decommission, weapon number 10. No. We don't like it. And this is almost like the living version. This is the one that is kind of sentient and talking. So I like that. And it does change up things. It would be boring if each time it's just like, oh, here we go. I trained, boom, and go. And you have these little deals, whether it's that it was your mom's weapon or now a sentient one that talks. I like changing that up, and I think it's a cool deal.